Hey, this is Christian. So this weekend, I went into the hyperbolic time chamber. I grinded. I did some practice on my algorithms. I did some practice on my programming. So today, I'm going to try to solve 4 different problems so you can see how much I've advanced. And if I don't do well, then I don't do well. Okay, let's do this. Plus minus. Given an array of integers, calculate the ratio of its elements that are positive, negative, and zero. Print the decimal value of each fraction on a new line with 6 places after the decimal. Oh, ew. I just want it like that. The challenges introduces precision problems. The test cases are scaled to 6 decimal places through answers with absolute error of up to 10 to the negative 4 are acceptable. Okay. There are n equals 5 elements. Looks like 2 positives, 1 0, 2 negatives. Exactly. The ratios are 2 to 5, 2 to 5, and 1 to 5. The results are printed. Okay. So it's positive, negative, then 0 in that order. Complete the plus minus function in the editor below. Plus minus has the following parameters: int array, an integer array of n elements. Print positive, negative, 0 values in the array. Each value should be printed on a separate line with 6 digits after the decimal. The function should not return a value. So I don't really know how to specify the number of decimals that come after. That are printed even if it's 0. So it's going to be interesting. Oh, I see why. Okay. All right. So let's do this. So it's kind of nice. They already made the test cases for us in the main, and they started the method. Beautiful. That's all I need. Okay, so we're going to need a counter. Need variables to count the positive, okay. We need a loop that goes through an array. And then since it's a void, we're going to be printing directly from the method. Print. And put parentheses up to 6 decimal places. And 0. So yeah, that's what we're going to want to do. Definitely here, I'm going to make a side note. How to restrict that are printed. Because the way it is, it's just going to print the number of whatever's stored in the data point. It'll be I think a 64-bit. No, it'll be 32-bit integer, which is way too big. We don't want that. We just want 6. So let's get started. We're gonna initialize our variables. Positive count. I wonder if I can do that comma thing. Oh, there's a way you can go like this. I wonder if that'll work. I'm gonna test it. I know there's something like that you can do. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate way. So we have our counts, and we're going to make a for loop that is going to stop at the end of the array. So some ways we could do this, we could do I is greater than 0, meaning it's positive. Then we'll increment this by 1. I is less than 0. And then else, meaning it's 0. We'll increment the 0 count. Dude, I don't know why I keep capitalizing that. Oh, because my reflexes are too slow. Okay, so we'll do that until the end of the loop. Oops. Yeah. My bad. Gotta follow our structure. And then finally, we're gonna be printing the values. So the value we're gonna be printing is a decimal place. So we can either initialize it outside or we can initialize it inside. Or we can calculate it. Yeah, I think we'll just. Okay, so they can't be integer values, or they can. We can initialize a new value. Call it float. What's a float? It's a type float. We're only going to save up to 6 decimals, so we don't need to use a double, which would be huge. Yeah, we'll put ratio. Positive ratio, negative ratio, and then 0 ratio. Initialize it to 0. Divided by the array of length, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, paste it twice, and just change the variables. There we go. Let's use print line so that way it'll put spaces between each statement. So this one, I just want to see how many decimal places it actually prints out. Oops. Dude, I'm misspelling everything. Wow. Ration? That's funny. Okay. So now I'll run the code. No one checks. You see that? Compilation error. Oh. I forgot to put a. This was nice about debuggers. Makes it really easy to find out where the issue is. Dude, I really can't spell. It's kind of embarrassing. Go, 0 count. Run that. Name count. What's wrong? That's initialize each of them to 0 like this. Let's see. Yeah, it almost worked. Okay, so one of the issues I know we have is this right here. I don't think I need to initialize that to 0 at all. So we'll run that again. So we're getting 0 for some reason. Meaning, oh, yeah, I just realized why we're getting 0. I suppose we're getting 0s on all of them though. Because we should. So the issue we have is with this for loop. I'm testing just for I. I'm not testing the actual array value. So it's always going to be positive, right? So this is what we want to happen. I don't understand why we're getting 0, so we should, at least the positive number should have returned something, but I'm not getting anything. You see that 0s again. So something's going wrong with either our count or our ratios. So theoretically speaking, so yeah, it's fine to get integers. Do I have to cast these to float? So this actually works. Let's see. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I used to have trouble with this back in the day. Different data types. Okay, yeah, so it was literally exactly the issue. So it's saying I got it right, but we're not. I want to do it exactly like it is here. You see that? It just goes up to 6. So I'm going to Google. I'll limit decimal places in Java. That's the easiest way to search right now. I always click on the first link. Oh. So saying provides 2 primitive types that can be used for storing decimals. So it's the float and it's a double, which if you had to compare it to another data type, it'd be int and long. So to format a decimal number, print f. So you go percent 1%3 0.3 f. So it'll print 3 decimal values. Decimal format class. I kind of like that better. in a way. This one, I don't know. I think this format is very confusing and it's very, what do you say? I don't know how to say it. But using this, I like this. Let's try it. Okay, so where's the best place to initialize this? I think I would need to initialize it in here now. Like that. So what I'm going to be printing, oops, no, that's not what I wanted. My bad. We want it here. I guess we don't have to initialize till we go down here, right? So it's df dot format, and then you put the ratio in here like that. The reason I do this is because I kind of hate keeping track of parentheses. I always get it wrong. So I'd rather just change something that's easier on the eyes, like text. Okay, run code. Oh, see, I only left it on 3. How come it's not giving me the zeros at the end, though? I don't like this. So this should give me 6. Yeah, see? That's what we wanted, but I want the zeros at the end, though. How do I add those? Yeah, we want to keep those zeros. So we were able to limit the number of decimal places using this class that I don't really understand, decimal format. Let's check it out. Yeah, decimal format should have what we're looking for. Pattern. Special values. Yeah, this is a little bit more confusing than I thought it was going to be. All right, here we go. This has the methods. Clone equals format. Oh man, this is too hard. All right, it's a lot easier. I don't actually know what string builder. Oh, I'm guessing it builds strings. Decimals plus 2. Create a method that returns the exact format for your decimals. Here's an example. So they're just adding. Oh, that's kind of dumb. No? Yeah, you're just printing it as a string. I don't know if I like that. Hmm. All right, so I'm gonna try using zeros instead. That's kind of, I don't know. I don't even know if this is gonna work, to be honest. So this is how he had it structured. Let's see if this works. Oh, there we go. Easy won't do. You guys all doubted me. Check it out. Got it. All right, so what I learned from this is this decimal format. That's something I haven't seen before. I could also just run a loop to do this, but it's already done. Okay, decimal format. Okay. Submit code. Boom. Unlock the hidden test case. Um, Seems pretty normal, to be honest. But yeah, let's do this. Next, please. Yo, this is a long question. I'm kind of nervous. All right. You're in charge of the cake for your niece's birthday and have decided the cake will have one candle for each year of her total age. Okay, that's pretty standard. Kind of birthday cake has like 30 candles and the kid's two. When she blows out the candles, she'll only be able to blow out the tallest one. Your task is to find out how many candles she can successfully blow out. For example, if your niece is turning 4 years old, the cake will have four candles of height 4413. She will be able to blow out two candles successfully. Okay, so it's a logistics thing. I'm assuming that they made it only the tallest candles because of airflow. When you blow onto it, maybe it disperses because of those two tallest candles and doesn't reach the lower ones. And since a 4-year-old isn't able to exert a lot of airflow, um, I guess it kind of makes sense. Complete the function birthday cake candles in the editor below. It must return an integer representing the number of candles she can blow out. Birthday cake candles has the following parameters. It has an array, which I'm guessing stores the height of each candle, and the length will be the number of candles it has. So it should be able to blow out two, since 3 is the tallest. So what I'm thinking of doing is, as I iterate through the array, the first number is going to be the largest number. So until I'm going to be counting that large number, and until I reach a number that's bigger than it, then I will exit the loop. It's going to be of n complexity, but that's what I want. All right, so let's do this. So I'm going to have two variables, one for the max value, or put max height. And then the next one, oh wait, we'll just do a comma here. Max height and number of candles. Number of candles, yeah. And then we'll iterate through the array. And in here, we'll also keep track of max height. When new max height is found, set number of candles to 1 and max height to new number. Then we'll return the number of candles at that max height. Easy enough, right? Okay. So we'll initialize these first to integer. Okay. Easy, right? So we're going to iterate through the array now. We'll make a for loop. We're only going to need to go through this array once. So we'll end it at array, the length of the array. Whoa, 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 whoa. So the array, so we're going to check if the max height is less than the value at I, or at this particular location in the array. Then we need to reset so the max height is reset, and set to 1 automatically. So we'll actually start at index 1 since we're gonna set the max height to the first value of the array. We'll set the number of candles to 1. Okay, so we test that. Get that out of the way right away. So we don't even want to bother with entering here. The max height is less than, right? So we won't even enter the array if it's a candle shorter than the value we have stored in max height, right? So we'll test that for that every time. Then we'll go in and we'll see I'm doing it like this, I'm not too sure, but I feel like it'll work. Okay, max height equals that, then I don't even need this stuff. You just increment the count for the number of candles. Cool. Easy enough, right? So if the max height equals that value, then we'll increment. If it's not, that means that the max height is greater. Or if you do it the way I had it, like this, delete this, put this in here, you can just delete this. Right? So doing this, so if the value at the specific index of I is less than the max height, we won't even enter the loop. We'll just keep going. Right? So then, dude, I have like this bump on my nose and I keep scratching it. I think it might be like I don't know, it's just like a mini bump. I'm scared to scratch it off though. So if it's less than the max height, we won't even enter this because she's not going to be able to blow it out. So then when we enter, we'll test right away. So if the max height is greater, wait, sorry, this is backwards. Oh yeah. So this one's backwards too. If the max height is greater than this, there we go. Then that means this candle is smaller, so it won't get blown out. If when we enter, we'll test if the max height is less than the array, or the index of the array, meaning there's a taller candle that we previously tested for. So we'll set the max height to this, and then we need to reset candles to 0 because it's going to be incremented out here, correct? All right, looks good. Oh wait, we got to return the number of candles. All right, easy enough. Oh, so I hasn't been initialized yet at this point. I meant to put 0. Since we'll just initialize it to the first candle, because based off of the data we have, the first candle is the only candle, so it's going to be the tallest candle. Yeah, it kind of threw me off that they named it R instead of with 2 R's. Okay, so we get the wrong answer. Beautiful. So let's figure out what's wrong. We got 3. Okay. So something's wrong with our iterator. So we start at 1. Okay, that looks good. The max height is greater than that value. It won't go in at all. but somehow we're getting 3, meaning it's going in somewhere it's not supposed to. So the max height, yeah, it's set right away. It's the first value of the array, which in this case is 3, right? So it's going to be, it already has that 1. So we're going to start at 2. So 2 is less than 3, so it's not going to go in. It shouldn't. So the max height is set to 3, correct? And is that greater than the array at the first index? The first value, or the second value of the array, which is 2. So the max height is greater than that. Oh, it's supposed to be less than, right? So we don't want it to be greater than. So we want enter if the max height if it's true, then it will enter. So the max height is greater than, yeah, so that's where we went wrong. So if the max height is less than, that's what we want to go in. So we want it to be false. So if that is true, it will enter. So if the max height is bigger than that, it'll go in. So we don't want to go in. So if the max height is less than, I want to put the false. Yeah, we want to put the opposite of that. But will it enter at all though? Let's see. So max height is less than that. So if the max height is less than that, it won't enter because it's false. So in the case 3, yeah, that makes sense. So we don't want to enter the max height is less than that value. Yeah, that makes sense. Because we do want to enter if it's 0, or if they're put less than or equal. No, because we do want to enter if it's equal, right? So it's just less than. That's the only case we don't want to be in there for. So now we're only getting 1, which is actually the opposite of what we were doing before. So it is an issue with this statement right here. So now we're not going in enough times. So the max height is less than, okay. So it's not going in enough now. Yeah, see this test right here. I mean, that one's greater. No. So we don't want to enter if the max height is bigger than that value. I don't think I could do this. Not less than. Imagine. That'd be great. That's what I'm looking for. So the opposite of that would be greater than or equal to. The max height is greater than the array, then it'll go in. But we don't want it to do that. But we still want it to go in this case, so we can reset the value. So if this is true, we want to go in. Yeah, okay. The oh my gosh, dude, I'm still getting it wrong. So if the max height is less than or equal to there, then we'll go in. That's what we want. So that is right. Because if it's less than the array, we want to initialize the max height to that. And if it's equal, then we still want to initial or set it to that. Correct? So the max height is less than that. Then we'll set the max height to that. Number of candles is 0, and then we'll iterate the number of candles. Or increment, increment. So for some reason here, we're only getting 1. So we initialize, okay, it's 3, 2, 1, 3. So we set max height to 3. Writing this down. And then the number of candles to 1. Right? And then we start at the second element in the array, because we already took note of the first one. So at I, yeah, that's less than the length since the length is 4. So the max height is 3. And at index 1, it's going to be 2. So the max height is 3 is less than or equal to, no, it is not less than or equal to that value. So we're not even going to go in. So I increments, we're on the second one now. So I is still less than the array, or the length of the array, and the max height is 3. Is that less than or equal to 1? No. So we're not going to go in. Increment I again. Now we're at 3. So at index 3 is still less than the length of the array. So 3 is the max height is 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 3? Answer is yes. So then we go in and we check if the max height is less than the array at value A, or at value I, or the element, the value of the array at index I, then we'll set the max height to that, but it's not. So it should just increment the number of candles. That's what should happen, but it doesn't. For some reason, it just stays as 1. Three, two, 1, 3. It should be 1. So the thing is happening is it's entering here for some reason. Which makes no sense, since this value should never change in the first place. That's not gonna work. That's the way it should have been entered. So we can put custom inputs apparently. So yeah, that's right. Should just be 1. So what if I do it like this? 2. So the output should be 2. And it's still 1. Okay, something's going on here. Okay, let's initialize these separately. I have no idea if this is actually going to do anything. Let's try again. It shouldn't make a difference, to be honest. Okay, so it doesn't. So this is true. And this also needs to be true for it to enter. I legitimately do not understand what is going on, dude. If I set them all to 1. Okay, so 1 in. That's good. If I put random 2 at the end. Or random 0. Let's go 0. So that's right. Okay. So this should output 1. So that's right. That's right. So that's something to do with the first statement. The way I'm initializing it is messing it up for some reason. So initializing the max height to 3, initializing the number of candles to 1, something goes wrong here if that's the first value. So if I go that should, I'm not sure that's gonna work actually. Should. So it has something to do with this first number. Something's wrong there. Because watch, if I change this to 1, it's gonna get messed up. It's just gonna say 1. Oh shoot. The moment where your computer program is smarter than you. Okay, check it. Check it out. Wait, why am I getting the right answers now? Dude, I don't know what's going on. More here, testing. So this is right. I was thinking the first number. There's something wrong with it. It's giving me the right results now. Yeah, see, it's like the first and last one. Something happens there. It's not reached the last one, or what's going on? Or is it because of the first one? When it's the first and last, something happens. Yeah, I could put this 1 literally anywhere else, and it'll be fine. Oh, is it just the last number? So for some reason, dude, that's so trippy. So this works. This will give us 2. But if there's any space between the numbers, that's when it gets messed up. It restarts for some reason. Hmm. Do you think it's setting it? The max height is less than this. So the ray at 0 is going to be 3. More candles 1. Yeah, I should put this in parentheses. I don't know if that'll actually make a difference, but worth a shot, you know? Okay. So I thought it didn't do anything. So this has to be true and this has to be true for it to enter. Correct? No matter what happens, we're incrementing in here. If the max height is less than this, it means we want to reset the max height. That's correct. For some reason, when we're getting to 1, we have the same max heights. It's resetting, and I legitimately don't understand why. This seems fine. See, like, this is part of programming that kind of frustrates me a little bit. It's such an easy program, and in my mind, it works perfectly. But for some reason, when I put it on paper and I program it and I run it, it doesn't work. But the thing is, if you grind through it, the feeling you get afterwards is so satisfying. There's some problems that you just work on for so brutally long that the relief isn't that strong, especially when um, the bigger picture of the program isn't done. But when you get to the end, God, it's just such an amazing feeling. Okay, so yeah, so we're not getting errors for exceeding the size of the array, so that's fine. We're good there. It's this and this. The combination of these two is messing us up. The max height is less than or equal to, we will enter. Yeah. So if it's less than, we want to change it to this value. If it's equal to, we want to increment the number of candles that are going to get blown out. Correct? Okay, so we could try one of two things. We can do it how I was originally going to do it. Which is to make this into an else and then increment it. So that doesn't work. Fine. Completely fine. We can initialize the max height to -1. And the number of candles to 0. So that way when we enter, we automatically have to do this shit. Sorry, do this. Still getting 1. Dude, I feel when I watch back on this video, I'm gonna see it staring straight at me. Whatever I'm doing wrong. Okay. I don't really like doing that. In the case that they use negatives as part of their value, it's gonna kind of mess me up. So max height is initialized to the first value of the array. Number of candles is set to 1. Alright, that's all good. Dude, it's got to be something with this. But somehow this and this working together, because for some reason, is the max height being reinitialized every time? Shouldn't be. Okay. So for some reason, it's restarting. Because when these two are right next to each other, it increments just fine. But when they're separated, it stays at 1. So either it's resetting or it's not accessing the next value. Watch it, they're all consecutive. It's good. No problem. See? I wonder what happened here. Give me 2 or 1. Gives me 2. It's not accessing the last one. So this will probably give us 1 again. Yes. See what happens when we do this. It's going to give us 1 again, because that would actually be really bad. So it has something to do with the spaces between. Okay, so we're initializing it to 1, correct? And we're starting at 1. Actually, I could technically initialize this to 0. And we can start at 0. Boom. It still comes out wrong. I think it's funny how I said at the beginning of the video I was gonna do 4 problems, and now I got stuck on the second one. Number of candles. It's gonna be 0. So when we first enter, it should automatically iterate to 1, which is good. Then we get a 0. Oh, it just breaks out. That's why. Oh, you dummy. So it's not an inclusive statement. It's an OR statement. It breaks out the entire loop, dude. Wow. God, that's so dumb. Just put continue. Oh my god, dude. That's so dumb. Well, lesson learned, my dudes. I'm never gonna forget that the statements up there and the loop, which is why if there were spaces between them, it wasn't iterating through because it wasn't less than or equal to it. So it would end it all. Okay, hold up. Oh, is that why? You have to pay? Oh, I see. Okay, wrong answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's my output? Just wrong answer. Okay. Well, at least we got one of them right. So it's going to continue. I just copied the test case, huh? That makes sense. So now I can see what I'm actually getting. I'm getting 2. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to pause. So we're significantly closer to solving this. Check it. Okay, so for some reason, we're not even getting close to counting. So I'm gonna make some print statements here to get the max. I'm gonna print the max height to see where we're at, what we're getting, what's going on. So it's not resetting the max height to the correct value. So that's the issue we're having. It's just getting 18, which is why we're only getting 2. Something's wrong here. Okay, I see why. We're actually supposed to change this to greater. The max height is greater than. Yeah, that should solve it. All right, boys, we did it. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all for attending today. I want to thank all my fans for all their love and support through this tough time. Definitely great lesson learned here. So this reminds me back in the day, I used to grind at programming. I used to sit and I would just spend hours and hours solving really simple stuff. And my homie thought I was crazy. Sorry, my friend thought I was crazy. I would just spend ridiculous amounts of time grinding out, looking for that one out of place bracket, that one variable I used incorrectly. And it was kind of my strong suit. I can sit here and I'll get frustrated, but I have a generally pretty calm demeanor. And that's kind of how I feel about this project in general. Sometimes I rewatch my videos and I see myself looking pretty foolish, pretty quiet, and I just try to focus on improving one thing in every video. And after this weekend break, I kind of went back and I was practicing my speaking skills, and I had some doubt. I was like, why am I doing this? I mean, I have a pretty monotone voice. I'm not very entertaining, and honestly, who would want to learn from me? Who would want to watch this? I had these like doubts in my mind, and right now, I don't think anyone will want to watch what I'm putting out. I know a lot of people, probably most people, or anyone is gonna watch this, but um, I don't know. I've kind of committed. I put myself out there, and I want to watch how much I can grow. I want to keep improving. I just want to keep going. I want to see what I can become. I mean, the whole point of this is to inspire, to show others that it's never too late to start a new project, to start a new chapter of your life. It's never You're never at the point of no return when it comes to new opportunity. That's truly what I believe. I'm gonna show you guys. You guys watched me struggle through a very simple problem. You guys were probably yelling at me, but I just kept going. I kept grinding. I kept breaking it down piece by piece, and that's something I'm still gonna need to work on. Um, I need to learn to create better test cases. I just barely figured out how to put in that custom input so I can debug and break down my program a little bit better. So this was a very, very good lesson.